Hey everyone, it is the second day of the MSI playoffs in Paris, and I'm joined by someone who's not a caster or player who I tend to interview normally. I'm joined right now by Cass, who I have known for many years and is the makeup artist. And is that the way to W? Is that your title?
Yeah, makeup artist. I do hair too for the guys, but makeup artist.
Okay. Makeup artist, hair person, basically the person that makes sure no one looks bad on broadcast. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah, that's the goal, right?
So first off, how long have you been working on all the League of Legends stuff? Because it feels like to me like you've been here since almost like the start.
I started in December of 2013 for a tournament, and then they kind of brought me in for the regular season stuff and decided that they wanted makeup going forward for everybody.
And what was, let's go all the way back to the beginning, like what were some of those early times? Because I'm sure, like, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm guessing you're not used to doing makeup for esports events. Like esports shows, it's not like your makeup repertoire.
It definitely was new to me. I didn't really know much about the esports scene. It was definitely like still very up and coming then. So interacting with pro players was different than I guess what I'm normally used to interacting with as far as like doing makeup.
Yeah. with I think when a lot of people think of like makeup artists or people who are helping with hair before like a show, they're probably thinking like, okay, they probably just work on a ton of women. Whereas in this world, you're just like, it's just almost all dudes. Like Shocks comes in, but that must be kind of different for you.
Yeah, but I really like it because I mean I have Shocks, Froscurin, Ovally. I mean I'm pretty set with the females. They're amazing. But working with the guys, it's like you just kind of have a broad spectrum of personality and like what you're gonna get with them. But I love it actually. Like it's been great.
I assume that working at the NALCS, the players all have, like you said, broad spectrum. Okay.
I'm gonna hook you up a little bit.
Okay.
Like we need.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Let's,
this will help out. Thank you. So working at the NALCS, you probably have a couple of interesting characters that you work with, right? Like I know Peter is kind of insane, but
Peter is funny. We have a long. I've known him for a lot of years now. Okay. When we first started, he hated the makeup,
really?
like so much hated it. But I kind of forced him into like we're gonna figure this out, and now we're great.
Now he sees the value.
Yeah, I think now he finds it like relaxing. It's just part of his schedule.
Yeah.
I think it's like that for a lot of the players. It's just part of their routine now.
Yeah. Are there any players that you have a more like kooky interaction with, or like that there's like banter or whatever backstage? I mean, gives you a hard time?
I have definitely have a lot of those, but probably Smithy and I probably troll each other consistently all the time, basically.
Okay. Compared to the players, you also work with the casters. What's the difference? Okay. What's the difference between? I'm going to start this interview looking like a monster, and then by the end of it, I'm going to look beautiful.
With the guys, it's all about not being shiny and fixing up the hair a little bit.
Yeah. I would hate to shine. What? I've never done an interview like this. What's the difference between like
distracting?
A little bit. Just closing my eyes and asking the question and getting my face pressed in. Okay.
Well, now you know how the players and casters feel when they're trying to focus on the show and the game, and we have to step in and do this to them all the time. So it's a big part of my job of making sure they're comfortable.
Yeah, that's true, because you don't just do like, all right, you're on this 5-hour show, like here's makeup, I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. You're like ducking in frequently. Yeah,
the players get it really light for stage because we want them to focus on the game for sure, first priority. We'll do a little more if they have like features after and stuff. But the casters, every time they're getting cut from camera, they're trying to grab a bite of food or go to the bathroom, and they have us in their face trying to fix them up before they go on again for another 45-minute hour.
I just imagine like the cameras turn off Dash and he's just like, Cassandra, I'm ready. Where's my makeup?
I mean, he doesn't hate it.
Okay, well, speaking of the casters, what's the difference between working with the players and working with the casters? Not just from like the fact that you have to get to the casters more often, but I bet you they have just a different interaction with you or a different vibe.
So the caster's mentality is like to go be, on show, on camera. For the players, it's not their priority. Their priority is playing the game. So they're usually more quiet, more reserved. Sometimes it's the opposite. Yeah. They're amped, so the makeup room just gets like crazy. But with the casters, it's generally always crazy. Like they're in there for a while, and we have a good chunk of time in the morning, so the interaction's just a lot different. But it's just different person to person.
Does the vibe of the makeup room, I actually just thought of this, does the vibe of the makeup room change based on like the severity of what's about to happen? Like if it's just like a regular LCS day, I'm sure people are great. Whenever it's like, I'm about to enter like a giant arena filled with, tens of thousands of people, it's probably a different feel.
Absolutely. And also the beginning of the split versus the end of the split. So when we get back to summer split, it'll be music bumping in the makeup room and everybody will be cheering. But when it comes down to whether you're going to make playoffs or not, it gets really quiet, really calm, and we interact based on how the players are feeling before their game. If they're wanting to distract and talk and all of that, then or we'll pump them up if we feel they need that. And if they're quiet in the zone with their headphones on, then we're really cool. So it just depends on what's going on. So I definitely pay attention a lot to where the team's like standings are and what they might be going through on that end, because otherwise if we don't think about it, it's just a normal kind of day for us with our schedule.
I'm sure this isn't the case, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like, okay, they've got a really tense match, so I'm going to add a little bit extra powder to make sure that the sweat starts pouring off.
In that case, if it's really tense, I try and get them like in and out with as little as possible so that I can keep them in the zone and focused on what they want, because it's a fine line between what I want them to have if they're going to be on camera versus like what their mental state is. So it's a fine line I got to play. Plus, I've known them now for, 4.5 years. So I know who sweats, I know who doesn't, I know who likes, is okay with the makeup and who hates it, and just kind of go from there.
What is it like for you? Because you see all these players in a very different light than everybody else, right? Like there's the coaches that are leading them, there's the other players that are opponents of them, there's the fans that are cheering for them, but you kind of have almost like a third-party objective point of view where you're just like, I'm just curious what it's like for you sort of seeing these players go through their lives and the cycle of the playoffs and all that kind of stuff.
It's interesting. I've seen a lot of them grow up from like very young age. I mean, like Pobelter and Bjergsen, like very young, and they're when I started. So they were new to me. I was new to them, but now I've kind of like seen them grow up, and so I've seen a lot of them through a lot of years, and I get invested in all of them though, because as somebody who's like personally in your bubble and in your space, you have to build some sort of like comfortable situation with them.
Anything that you would say to any of the fans out there who look at these players, look at these casters, watch these events, etc., especially as somebody who's like kind of behind the scenes or whatever, anything that you would say to them, anything that you think they should know about the players or the guys, you can think for a second.
I mean, it's just basically like the fans watching at home, they're just seeing our broadcast and stuff, so there's no way to describe what goes on like behind the scenes for production this size, and what the players are going through, or the casters, or anybody really, like you're only seeing like this part of it. So I don't really.
No, that's good. Like everyone is kind of human, I guess is the way to put it, right?
Yeah, everybody's got stuff going on, and you don't know, somebody might be sick, and it's like I see that, and we're trying to, behind the scenes, like get everybody like put together for the broadcast and make sure they're ready to play the games and they're comfortable and happy. But it gets hard on these road shows for sure.
Very good. Well, thank you so much, Cass, for the interview. I've known you for so many years. It's really cool that you were willing to sit here and thank you for the help.
You're welcome, and happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this is the birthday gift I've always wanted. Interview with Cass. Thank you so much. And for everyone else, you can check out the rest of my coverage of all things esports right here on my YouTube channel. In these troubled days, we have to figure out what we really stand for and who we want to support. And I think there's a chance that maybe you might be interested in supporting me. And if that's something you're interested in, you can do so at travisgafford.com/support and patreon.com/travisgafford.